Hello, Baconites. That's right. I said Baconites. My name's Jeremy, and I'm your host. I'm here with two very fantastic, wonderful ladies. We have Artist Avenue Cosplay and Comedian Cosplay.
Hi.
And they are going to be doing a wonderful show with us today, so we are going to be talking mostly about cosplay, sort of creating your own cosplay, getting into the cosplay community, as well as kind of getting into like artistry. Artist Avenue, Nikki over here is very good at creating her own cosplay. She's been making her own cosplays for quite a while. And then Cambria is also been creating her own cosplays for a while, and she's also really big into makeup. So we're going to be kind of looking at all of those aspects, and then we're also going to be talking about, other things going on in the world, I guess. So
you want to make it that broad?
Well, not that broad, but
a presidential
Oh,
debate.
don't even.
we're not. No, okay. So this is the month of October, and last month, just a few days ago, we had the presidential debate. We're not talking about it at all. I'm just putting it out there that it did happen.
It was
so
really good.
I didn't even watch it.
let's avoid politics as a topic, because this is a broad community with broad ideas.
Who wants to talk about politics anyways?
Yeah. So let's talk. Both of you guys, you both are actually involved in the board for doing Bacon. So how did you both kind of get involved in that? Yeah. So we'll start with Nikki.
I think it was a few years back. I honestly can't remember how long, but Jennifer had asked a whole bunch of people, her little community of people, if we could all just come together into the library, and she wanted to discuss about making Bacon bigger. And each of us got our assigned roles. I actually got mine by default because I was too shy and didn't say anything, and I wanted to be the video game director, but I got artist Sally coordinator by default, but I turned out to really love it, and I'm majoring in art, so now I'm just like, why wouldn't I be here? So
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so I've definitely enjoyed the journey. So it was kind of like a mistake, but not.
It's a good mistake.
It was a good mistake, yeah.
All right, and then Cam, how about you? What did?
Well, I've been involved in Bacon for a long time as far as like attending goes. I went to the second one we ever had, and then I've been going ever since. And then it's basically the same as Nikki. I was super close to Jen, and I was heavily involved with the library activities, and so
Were
she
you there
brought
with
it up.
me? We were. I
know.
feel like we were.
She brought it up, and then I was like, yeah, of course. And I became the director of publicity, so a lot of advertising. Good.
Yeah, right. Okay, so how did you two really get involved in cosplay? Because you both are pretty good cosplayers. There's no way that I can go around that. And you do your stuff yourself, as opposed to someone like me who usually either commission stuff or just buy stuff in stores or online or whatever. But you two do your own stuff. So how did you get involved in it, and why did you first start making your stuff as opposed to the clearly simpler alternative of just spending money?
Well, I first learned about cosplay actually from Anime Night. I went to Anime Night one day, and then I saw people dressing up, and I was like, I have a Manaphy costume. And that is, oh my god, nobody ever needs to see what that was. But it was
now I'm
super
curious.
bad. Oh god.
I don't know.
But it's really bad. And then as to why I make them, it's like a creative outlet for me. I really like to put a lot of work into something and spend time and money and make these things, and then be able to see the finished result and wear them to cons and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. And then you, Nikki, what do you?
I have to dive deep into mine because I found out what cosplay was when I think I was 8 or 9. I'm 20 now. My cousin, my middle cousin, would go to SoccerCon every year, And at the time I was a kid, I didn't know what the heck it was. She just went to Seattle and then came back and came with presents, and I was like, oh, where's this magical place where you're getting all this fandom stuff? And then one year I just finally asked her, I was like, where are you going every year? She tells me about SoccerCon, and at the time I did see her dress up. She used to dress up in the very beginning. She doesn't now. And my grandma would make the outfits for her. She went for several years as Neo Queen Serenity. So I was like, oh, the fact that my grandma could make a dress like that, I was like, absolutely beautiful. So I did start going to SoccerCon after she told me that, and my grandma did make the stuff before I started delving in it, and then finally after 1 year I was just like, Grandma, teach me how to sew. And we collabed our first one, which was Link from Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I still have it. It's very old and people are still asking me to wear it, and I don't want to. But after that, I slowly learned how to, and I've been sewing ever since. Even after my grandma's passing, I've made all the clothes by myself. So sewing is definitely a huge passion, along with cosplaying. I've been trying to get into sewing normal clothes, but it's just not as fun.
Yeah.
So.
And then you have a couple projects that you're currently working on right now, right?
Yeah. I mean, aside from a friend of mine had asked me to do a Punk Princess Peach, so after I'm finished with that, I'm going to delve back into the other ones. But right now I have all my dream cosplays being made right now before I go off to school and pretty much kind of like half retire from it, which is Princess Zelda from Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I'm remaking Midna. Comedian Cosplayer is helping me with that one.
Boy.
And then the third one, I've decided is a secret. But it's a very small secret, so
I know it.
You know what it is.
I mean, I know for myself, like, when I first got involved in cosplay, my whole thing was, I knew that my cousin was super into anime.
Cousins.
Yeah, exactly. And that my cousin was so much into anime, and she was the one who got me involved in anime years ago. Like, I'm talking like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, like way back in the day. And then I didn't really know much about conventions. I kind of had like a vague grasp on it and like cosplay and stuff. But one year when I was in 9th grade, she sent me a message on MSN Messenger, so you know how old I am. She sends me this message and she goes, do you want to come to a convention with me up here in Vancouver? And I figured, yeah, I might as well. I wanted to try it out. And so I threw together some really bad cosplays. I had Edward Elric, which was mostly comprised of like a few things that I had laying around the house.
Bathrobe.
Yeah, a bathrobe that I bought at Goodwill, and with like iron-on transfer for the design on the back.
Oh my god.
And like a child's blonde wig, because we bought it online and it said one size fits all, so we were like, obviously, and we should have really been like we should have known because the picture was of a child. But we were like, this'll work. So there were probably 30 bobby pins digging into my scalp by the end of the day, just trying to hold it on. And then the other cosplay I did that weekend was I did Light Yagami from Death Note. But the thing was, like, the brown suit, the top and the bottom were bought from 2 different thrift stores. So
it matched perfectly.
They were like different colors. My Death Note was just, I'd printed off like a black cover that had Death Note on it and like taped it to one of those marble notebook, and then I took a Sharpie to the back.
Book.
Yeah, to the composition book, and I took like a black Sharpie to the back of it and like colored it in, and then I wrote like on the first page in horrendous 14-year-old handwriting, rule number 1, whoever's name is written in this book shall die.
God,
and
actually wrote it all?
I did not. I only wrote the 1.
Oh, okay.
And it was so bad, like, I didn't know how to carry it, so, like, because my hands were getting too tired, so it was, like, stuffed into, like, my pants for most of the day, just kind of sticking out the front, and it was just not good. Like, the only good thing I think about about both of those cosplays was the Edward arm that I did. I made it out of craft foam, and it was just like one sheet over the other, and I just like cut out the design. The upper arm, like the shoulder, was horrendous and like stuck out because I had no idea.
Hard.
I didn't know like how to like mold, so it was just kind of held on with elastic. And then, like, yeah, like, the bicep was just, like, a single piece. And then for the glove, it was just, like, a winter glove. But I couldn't find the right hand. So it was just, like, it was the left glove.
Oh my god.
And I remember I got to the convention, and I was probably inside the building for no less than 5 minutes. And we're going down the escalator to get me to Reg. And we're heading towards Reg, sorry. And I just hear, like, somebody, and I didn't really pay much attention, but I heard, Edward! Edward! And my cousin, taps me on the shoulder. I think someone's trying to get your attention. And I turn around, and here's this person. I'm not going to make assumptions on their gender, because I'm not sure. But all I can tell you is that they were dressed as Winry. And they... And I'm not the kind of person that, like, shames for body types or anything like that, and, like, everybody knows that. This person, I'm not sure if they were cosplaying Winry as a joke or not. Like, those, like, really big guys who cosplay Misty? I wasn't sure if it was one of those scenarios.
Oh.
But Winry comes running up to me and goes, "Can I get a picture of your auto mail?" And I was like, I guess. And it was super awkward because this was the first person who had spoken to me the entire time I'm there. So I hold my arm up, and it's super awkward. You can't really see the bicep because I was just wearing the bathrobe and I had, like, the sleeve pulled up over over the forearm. So they take the picture, and mind you, at the time what I was doing is I was wearing that left glove, and it was one of those ones with, like, the black grip on the palm, but I was wearing it backwards, so the black grip was on the back of the hand. So there's just, and they take a picture, and then they just go, "Yes!" And they, like, run off.
Oh my god.
And it was so terrifying, and I had no idea what was going on. Because, like, I got there, I met up with my cousin, I was like, "Oh, cool, you're engaged." Because that happened before I got there. And then we get on the escalator, I see Jesus, I see a bunch of people in, like, these weird bikinis with, like, spikes and, like, those medical masks, except they're painted black and they have, like, spikes on them. There was even a baby in a baby carriage wearing that. And then Winry comes up. And it was just, like, an incredible experience because I'd only been there for 5 minutes.
Yep.
But, like, that was just, my first cosplay. And, like, from there, a lot like you guys improved by, building your cosplays and making yours. I improved by only buying top-of-the-line cosplays that cost me $1,000.
Hey, you do what you do.
No shame in buying them.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one of the things, too, is that within our cosplay community, there are a lot of people that will shame you for that, and I don't think that's right at all. I think that's super dumb, but... Yeah, and so obviously you guys have just made your opinions clear on it.
Half of them are the people who buy half their cosplays.
Or even then, they're the one, they'll commission a cosplay, and it's not the same. Like, yes, it is handmade, but somebody's making that, other cosplay, somebody's making that Zentai suit somewhere.
Exactly.
So.
Right.
The only time I ever have a problem with it is if... And
cosplay
this has
contests?
happened, no... Well, cosplay contests... But only if they do something like this. They actually say they made them.
Like at Comic-Con?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, there was this one time, I got so pissed because this Red Queen, really great and everything, like, I mean, granted, I was blind, so I didn't notice at first, because I'm legally blind, and I actually go full out. I don't wear my glasses, so I'm like, I'm completely blind halfway through the con and everything, but all I saw was, like, the bust of this Red Queen, and the wig was great, the makeup was great, it was absolutely beautiful. She had won first place. I was really happy. But when I got up to her and I looked at her dress more, I realized that was a Party City Red Queen dress. I had bought that exact dress one Halloween. That's how I knew it was bought, because I had that exact dress in my closet that year.
Yeah.
So I was like, you went around saying that you made this thing, and you didn't.
Yeah.
And it's hard. As someone who helped with this year's cosplay contest, it's hard because people who buy their cosplays also want to be somehow involved in the contest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to make anything fair, and because you want them to feel like they're part of it, but then it's not fair to the people who made them.
Right.
And you feel bad when you put them in separate things because it feels like you're basically degrading them. But
it's like categorizing, and you can only do so much to make everybody still be involved.
Right, and this past year, I entered the cosplay contest at Bellingham Comic-Con, And obviously that was not a cosplay that I made. And they said, did you make this or did you buy it? And I said I bought it from, 2 separate sources.
Which one was it?
The Deadpool cosplay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I said I bought it from 2 separate sources. I bought the armor from one place and I bought the costume from the other. And they said, okay, now that we know that, that's totally fine. Just as long as we know that... And, they didn't separate us or anything like that. And I think that it was, I didn't win. I didn't get anything. But I still thought that, it was fine. I still got to participate and, And I as long as they're aware... I think that's what's really important, is that they're aware. Beyond that, though, I think that buying cosplays is a really good alternative for some people. Especially people like myself. I don't have the sewing capabilities. There's one cosplay I've been wanting to do for a while is Spider-Man Noir, which is 90% gathering materials, and then you get to the mask, and there's no way for me to personally make that mask.
Masks? Just in general.
Yeah. And of course, but another problem too is that there's only one cosplay online. It's $200 and it does not look very good at all. And all of the cosplay tutorials I found online, that doesn't look good to me. That's not the way that I want it to be. So it's really, really difficult to try and find what you want when you're buying a cosplay. So when you're making one, you have that option of controlling things. And when it comes to cosplays that you're buying, a lot of times, not everybody is going to be the quote-unquote perfect shape, especially if it's coming from China. Maybe this person has a larger bust.
Well, Chinese, Asian sizes in general are just so different.
They're different. But, for example, maybe there's this person, they're very slender, they have a slender body, so they want to get, the small cosplay, but they have a larger bust. Yeah. And they can't fit in that cosplay now. Exactly. So, if you're making your own cosplay, you can modify it to your own dimensions and stuff like that. So... It's sort of a give and take situation.
That's the one thing that I never this is personally why I don't buy cosplays, is because my bust size is something that I hate the most, because one year I tried so hard to buy an Assassin's Creed Ezio cosplay just for Halloween kind of thing, and I immediately it's hard too, because not only with body types and bust sizes, but when something goes wrong, it just derails you from everything. I tried on the Ezio cosplay, and the button where my breasts were just popped, and I basically just broke a Halloween Store's costume. Yeah. I shoved it in the corner. I was like, I'm not paying for this thing now, but...
Oh, yeah.
It's so hard. So after that, I'm just I always made it a thing. I want to make my own stuff, because that's not a problem.
Yeah. But I think that's definitely, something that is important, is that people need to realize that it's okay to do either.
Not everybody has the time.
Yeah.
Either.
Don't believe us. We don't have time either.
And that's why I'm not making anything right now, probably till next year.
Yeah, and there's also another thing too, is that where do you draw the line at where did you buy it or did you make it? Because there's also pieces that are cobbled, or not even thrifty, just cobbled together. For example, if you want to do a Slenderman cosplay, without having stilts, you can buy the suit. The only thing you need to really get is the mask, and you could have that suit. Maybe you have a fancy suit for a nice occasion already in your closet. All you need to do is buy the mask. Is that considered still buying your cosplay, or did you make it?
That's actually almost an entirely different category, because there's buying, making, and then closet cosplaying, which, my Punk Princess Peach is thrifting and closet. Yeah. So...
It's hard. Just, the whole contest thing is hard.
Yeah.
In a contest setting, that's not even... It has no category at that point, which is hard.
And you have to count on everybody to be truthful.
Yeah.
Because there are the people who lie and say they made it. And sometimes it's obvious. You're like, well, that shiny fabric is kind of familiar.
Yeah.
So I probably didn't make it. So
definitely. So, with you, Cambria, you've really been involved in, makeup. You've been posting so much makeup on your Facebook, on your Instagram lately.
I'm obsessed.
You have, a very... it's not very subtle at all. I'm looking at you right now. Your look is not subtle. So, what got you into that?
Subtle for me.
For you.
Red eyeliner.
Subtle.
Yeah, so how did that come up?
Okay, so, on my old YouTube channel back in 4 years ago, 2012, 2011, I posted my first makeup tutorial, and it was, because I used to hate makeup. I was like,
oh, did you really?
That was a sin. That was not a thing. I was like, that's the stupidest thing ever. Now look at me, right? And then one day, like, this was when I was first getting kind of serious about cosplay, like back when Kaito was first being made and stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna raid a makeup drawer and just, like, play around. And so I did that, and it was god-awful. Okay, it was horrendous. And it was horrendous up until, like, last year. But I just played around with it, and then I started, like, watching videos, and I was like, oh, there's actually, like, a method for this. You don't, like, put concealer on your lips, and, like, you don't do that. And then I guess from there, I just got super, super into it, and not even just cosplay. Because it started with just cosplay. And then I was like, ooh, this is really fun. This is something I really like to do. And then I just started doing it over and over and over and over again.
Okay, so recently you discovered something about yourself that you didn't know. What was that?
Well, back in the day.
When is the day exactly?
Like 2010, 2011.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I was so into PewDiePie. Yeah, back when it was that.
Or does he not do that anymore?
Not really. I was so engulfed in PewDiePie. I was like, I want to be him. So I cosplayed PewDiePie. And then recently, PewDiePie made a video that was called Fake PewDiePies. And my cosplay was in there. I was in the video. And
when you say recent, like, how recent was this?
this was like last week.
Oh, I thought it was slightly old. Okay.
No, it was all my friends were tagging me in it and were like, you are in this video. And I was like, oh god, why is my phone blowing up? I was in class. I was like, what is going on? And everyone was like, this is you, right? This is you. And it's like, god, I sure hope not. Because that thing was horrendous.
I honestly, like, I don't want to bash on you, but that was completely awful.
Well, and the picture he showed, it literally wasn't even finished when that picture was taken.
So, okay, so was he watching, like, do you know, was he watching YouTube videos to get it, or was he just going through, like, Google Images?
He was going through, he did both.
Yeah,
Okay.
half
Both.
and half.
Oh, okay.
He hasn't, I also made a makeup tutorial, and it has over 1,000 views. I think it's on private now, but it's a possibility that he could have seen it. And the whole time, I was like, do you think he remembers me from PAX?
Yeah, I
like-
hope so.
I hope so, too.
I hope he was like, I remember this girl. I spoke to her, and we took a picture together, and now she's dressing up like me and being a total wannabe, you know?
But I want to say sorry. I'm sorry.
Go
I
to
did
PAX
that.
next year, I guess. That's your only option.
Yeah, I'll go up to him and I'll be like, you know, I feel really bad.
I know you put out a video every 3 days, but there was one video you did
last year. I just want to say I'm sorry. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I
He's
was
gonna-
one of the fake PewDiePies. God.
I think it's really funny that
And then I got a message from someone I don't even know, and they were like, the only reason you're in that video is because you planned it out with PewDiePie at PAX. And I was like, yes, I planned being in one of his videos with him in the 1 minute I saw him at PAX.
I can't believe that. That's so ridiculous.
I know, I was
honestly.
like,
But
yes,
that's
you're right.
funny. Yeah.
That's exactly
I
what
did
happened.
think it was, like, ironic that he came
It
out
was!
with that right after we saw him. That
Yeah.
was like, whoa.
Right after-
I mean, maybe he did remember you, and that's why he included it potentially. But
I don't want him to know that was me. Because I was also cosplaying as Aaron when I met him.
oh
So-
yes, that would have been. And
A new generation.
speaking of Aaron and gamers, yeah. So this month, the three of us are going to go see Game Grumps down in Seattle. We're going to be going live. Sadly, we didn't get the VIP tickets.
Oh my god, they literally sold out in like 15 seconds.
Yeah, but even still, I'm super, super excited. So, I haven't, like, honestly, I didn't even read it. You were just like, Game Grumps Live, should we go? I was like, yes. I don't actually know what's going to happen.
It's gonna be like a live episode of Game
Okay,
Grumps.
no, do they upload that to the channel as well, or is that...
I don't know.
Okay. Like, I assume that it's gonna be at least 2 hours long. Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I know it's at like 8 o'clock too,
Yeah.
which is another thing. So I'm actually surprised by like how late it's going to be. But I am excited. The three of us are going to be cosplaying for it as well, which is super exciting. I'm going to be going as Ninja Brian because that's the only Game Grumps related cosplay I
If
have.
he still had his Jufro, you could.
Yeah,
do
if I
Danny.
still had longer hair, I definitely would have done Danny. Or if I had the time to like get the suit, I would at least have done Danny. But I just don't have time.
Yeah.
Cambria is going to be doing Aaron again, and then
know
you
it.
were.
I do not feel comfortable making Danny, especially with my body. I'm having some issues with my body this year, but I'm cosplaying Susie.
That's going to be super.
My wife.
I get to be comedian cosplayer's wife. I love Susie. I've been watching her ever since I got into Game Grumps. She honestly reminds me of my sister, so I'm actually planning on raiding her closet because my sister is like the queen of goths. So I plan on raiding her closet for good outfits for Susie, and then I have like these white stilettos.
Oh wow, those are going to be awesome.
I told her, I was like, so it sounds like the nearest parking garage is like 8 blocks away.
I'm bringing different shoes, okay? I've learned that from Medley. Bring different shoes.
For sure, yeah.
I wore heels to a con one year and said, screw that.
Screw it.
Never again.
See, that's why I'm glad I always wear like the same. Like I have like
I wear Crocs.
yeah, I have like a very few different pairs of shoes that I wear. I mostly just wear my boots.
You know my Ganondorf cosplay?
Yeah.
I wear Crocs.
I know. It's actually really funny how you wear Crocs, but you just cover it up with armor. So,
Yep.
like, you look super cool, but, like, down below, you're actually just a giant dweeb.
True.
Oh, you should see my closet. I have shoes that beyond anything. I have all sorts of shoes, like heeled shoes, stilettos, flats.
See,
I
what's
have
really...
a pair of
Except
wedges.
Crocs. I do not have Crocs.
Well, that's a shame, and you need to fix that.
See, at my house, we have, like, a closet... You know, we have a closet right by the front door, and it's got a bunch of old shoes, like, really old shoes that I don't think anybody has worn in years. They probably don't fit anybody, and they really need to be gotten rid of. Mine included. So what we have now is just sort of a pile of shoes... Like, we don't take them off and organize them neatly. We just kind of throw them in
There's
front
a
of the
bucket
closet.
upstairs.
Is there actually a bucket at your
With
place?
shoes. Yeah.
See, that's just it. It's just, luckily I only need to wear the one pair of boots, so I picked the one left boot and the right boot that has the Band-Aids on it. And, like, that's how I know.
Like, legit, this is how bad I am with my shoes. I'm so... Just me with cosplays is details, details, details. I'm the, like, OCD detail girl of cosplay world. So... When Sapphire came into play, you don't see her shoes. You don't know what her shoes look like.
You don't
but
even
I
see her
had to
feet.
have perfect shoes for Sapphire, so I got these like really cute, like flat, like rounded shoes. No one's gonna see them, but I have them.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
terrible.
I can't think of any cosplay I wear where I don't wear Crocs.
Yeah.
So...
Like, I just wear, like, my black boots, because I do, you know, fairly simple cosplays. I have, like, my old, like, Toby cosplays that I need to find my Naruto shoes for. I'm pretty sure they're actually in the shoe closet. And then, like, there's a few others that I've worn flats for. Like, I did Terezi a couple of times, so I bought, like, her Converse. And I think I've just worn, like, some normal runners for, like, Kaneki and like a few others, but beyond that it's mostly the boots. I have one cosplay specific pair of shoes that I can, and it's my Ezio boots.
Oh, I guess, well, even my Kaito shoes are made of Crocs, so I guess I can't speak. I wear Crocs with literally everything.
Yeah.
Even when we went to KuroNekoCon, you debated on wearing heels for Alfie's, but you just said screw it and wore Crocs.
I was like,
Which it still fit. You always have characters that actually still fit the fact that you can wear Crocs.
Yeah, actually, I felt really bad actually because at KuroNekoCon I forgot my boots for Deadpool because I wasn't wearing them. So we had to do a whole runaround. And eventually I had to pay $40 for my friend to come pick me up with his big truck and drive me to Walmart,
Bless his heart.
buy these, like, horrible, like, cheap, but just, I don't want them steel-toe boots, which I wore for a day, and I don't know what to do with them now.
because you can't return them.
Exactly.
It was in Spokane.
And on top of that, like, they don't work for Deadpool because they're too low cut.
Mm-hmm.
So what I normally do with my Deadpool armor is I can rest the leather straps on the top of the boots, and I can't do that with these. So for sure, I don't know what to do with these boots.
I think we
start
all
welding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all just had like a shoe problem that day. It was like you with your boots, and then me. Apparently, my shoes were too small.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
didn't know this. My God, heels when they're too small. Children, please don't.
Yeah.
It hurts.
They hurt.
Make sure your shoes are the right
man.
size when you cosplay, please.
Finally, Cam was just like, take off those shoes and put on your flats. Okay.
I'm that person where
Yeah.
I don't care if it looks bad. If you are in pain, you need to fix yourself.
So I was wearing flats as Undyne.
Yeah.
Little
And it
was
flowery
okay.
flats too. It was cute.
No, I think when it comes down to, like, getting cosplays and everything and, like, gathering everything together, you should just, like, you need to quadruple check a week before the or the con.
Quadruple. Honey, I have lists galore. I do not get the nickname Dipper Pines just because.
You cosplay Dipper
I
Pines.
cosplay Dipper Pines because I am Dipper Pines.
It's so funny. I actually remember one of the first cosplays that I actually remember seeing you in was Lammy Lamb.
Oh, Lammy Lamb. Was it the Dipper Pines with lammy ears, or like
no,
the
like the
full-on
full Lammy Lamb?
I
remember that.
I remember that was so. It was weird too because that is an actual fan art.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't like trademarked or anything. I had to actually go to the artist, ask them, "Can I cosplay your Lammy Lammy?" It was called Paranormal Fighter Lammy Lammy.
Oh yeah.
So and she
I remember
like
when you were making that.
oh yeah, she was. I still have the message too because it means so much to me. She freaked out. She was just like, "You want to cosplay my fan art?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah.
And to this day, every time I do a photo shoot, which I want to do an updated version at some point, she reblogs it. And she's like, "Look at this cutie," and I'm like, "I love you."
Nikki, you've done quite a bit of sewing. So you mentioned that you picked it up from your grandmother, and then, like, just what else have you been doing with it? Like, have you been planning on sort of expanding it? Like, you said that you were looking at, like, doing regular clothes, but what kind of regular clothes are you looking at? Like, maybe doing some sewing of, like, pants and shirts, or, like, gloves, or hats?
Don't
or...
even talk to me about pants. Pants are like my weakness. Oh my gosh. I tried making pants one year when I cosplayed Wolfram von Bielefeld from Kyo Carmel. And it's like a tunic and then pants underneath, so you can't actually see what was going on underneath there. But literally, it's all just Velcro and elastic. So there's like no zippers, there's no fancy pockets, it's just basically yoga pants with sheer just elastic, making sure it stays up.
Amazing.
We buy the pants.
Yeah.
Which actually is really sad for my secret cosplay. I found out, and you were talking about this earlier, the pants are the separate color than the jacket. And
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
no. So
Can you
it
dye
broke
them?
my heart. I'm thinking of bleaching them,
Yeah.
or like, I have whitener, so I'm thinking of maybe dipping it, because it's just one shade off.
Yeah, I was trying to find the perfect color gloves for my most recent Deadpool cosplay, and I could not find, like, the dark red for the longest time. And of course, when you get these gloves, you know, they're not like winter gloves or anything, they're just like a costume glove, and they're polyester, so you can't dye them. And it was no, they do not dye.
I dyed polyester.
How much though? Like, just by a shade, or?
Well, it was Undyne's, I think, so.
Okay, because what I had done was I got these, or maybe they weren't polyester, maybe there's something else. Anyways, it's that cheap material. Whatever. Anyways, it was like a bright red, and I needed them to be darker, and I did so much work on them, and I went out the next morning, and they were like, I put them down, and I was like, this is gonna be perfect. I came out the next morning after they were dry, and they were bright red still.
Just spray paint them.
It's hard. I'm actually having that trouble right now with Sapphire. Before, when I made Sapphire, I didn't have sleeves, so I was actually painting my arms, which was a load of... No.
That's why I don't do Hades anymore.
Yeah.
No, but...
Arm socks are your friend.
No, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, because I'm remaking the puffy sleeves to make them puffier, and then I want to make the skin color and then attach it to the gloves. But the problem is her shade of blue is so intricate that I either have too light of a shade or too dark of a shade, and I tried.
You have to match to the paint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I tried bleaching, I tried darkening, and it was so bad because at one point I took the darkest blue cloth that I had and I put it in the whitener and it turned purple. So I was like, well, that's not exactly what I'm looking for.
Chemical reactions.
Yeah.
That was funny. I just put it in for like a millisecond and it came out purple. I was like, okay, nope. So at this point, I'm probably going to have to go to Joann's, find some fabric that's at the actual shade, and hope for the best.
And then for Cambria, you do armor.
I do armor.
You did Ganondorf.
I did do Ganondorf. Oh god, I need to remake Ganondorf though.
Again?
I remade the gauntlet.
Okay.
I'm good with the gauntlets. I feel good about the gauntlets. But the majority of Ganondorf was made in 3 days. The first time.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was done so quickly.
Part of it was made, and then my mom got sick, and then she passed away, and so I was like, okay, I'm not going to work on this. And then 3 days before the con, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make it. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to make it. You know, it's the last one my mom was going to be able to see. And so I decided to finish that, and Lord help us, that first time I wore it at KumoriCon, it was so bad. And then, you know, I remade it for Comic-Con, and then I remade stuff for BayCon. But still not happy with it. I gotta remake it. But anyways, armor.
Yeah. Like, what is it like, mate? Because I've tried, and let me tell you, the one picture that exists of me in my Clone Trooper cosplay is, well, I want to jump into a pit of boiling acid every time I see it.
Oh my god, I feel. I work with foam. I don't do Warbler or, like, really any thermoplastics.
Right. So do you do Ava foam or do you do, like, craft foam?
I use both.
Okay.
So, like, my gauntlets, the base is Ava foam, and then, like, the base shapes, you know, and then any details is craft foam and then layered craft foam.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a lot of dremeling involved.
Oh, jeez, that's...
When you make armor, you really need a respirator. You inhale so much toxic crap.
Yeah.
Especially when you Dremel. You have black snot for a couple of days.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah. And you're like, God, I bet that's really good on my lungs.
Yeah.
But I like working with foam more than I do with, like, thermoplastics. I don't know. It's not necessarily easier.
Right, so the thermoplastics, that's, like, stuff like,
Warbler and, like, Instamorph.
Yeah, I was gonna say Instamorph, yeah.
Wonderflex.
Yeah, Instamorph is, like, was my go-to for a lot of things. Most of my Terezi cane is, you know, we bought, like, an actual, like, walking cane, and then we formed the dragon head out of it, and that process took several days just to get, like, the dragon head right, but it turned out so well. I think Instamorph is super good for, like, small things.
And sculpting.
Yeah, because it's really sturdy, too. That's one of the nice things. As long as it's not super thin, it's really sturdy.
Yeah. And then, I don't know why I like armor so much. I think I just like that I don't have to sew much.
Yeah, that's true.
But I really like making armor. Like, it's something I enjoy a lot. I don't do any... When I made those gauntlets, I literally went in one day, and I didn't come out until someone came and got me.
Oh, wow.
That's how I get when I make stuff. I spent, like, 8 hours just, like, cutting out details and stuff. It's like, I, like, lose myself. Like, I don't realize how long I'm doing something. Because I just like making it so much. And then, I don't know, it just... I love armor, like how it looks.
Yeah.
I think it looks so cool, and to be able to, like, make my own.
I'm definitely, like, I enjoy lots of different types of armors and stuff like that. You know, I'm a very sci-fi oriented person myself, so I love, you know, sci-fi looking armor and, like, you know, body armor and stuff like that. So I definitely think that kind of stuff is really cool. For me, it's mostly, like, masks and stuff that I focus with.
Guy.
Yeah, like, most of my cosplays require masks of some sort.
On your Facebook page, the, like...
The like,
the
5
pictures.
Yeah, and that was on purpose. That was on purpose, but it was me trying... So there's I'm trying to think of cosplays that don't require a mask that I've done. There's Pink Guy.
When did you do? You did him like once.
Yeah,
right?
and the thing, I need to buy a new suit. That's why.
Yeah.
But I got Pink Guy, Ezio, and
Even then, you have a hood with him.
yeah.
You did that one at Baycon.
Which one?
The Korean guy? Was it the Korean guy? Or he had the orange hair.
Korean guy?
With
Korean?
the Kamen Rider.
Oh, right, yeah, so from Kamen Rider, yeah, so, no, he's Japanese.
Oh, sorry. For
Yeah,
some
so
reason
I-
thought you were cosplaying someone like a Korean pop band
K-
or something.
No.
K-pop boy.
No, that was Takaru Tenkuji, that's right, so he's new, he's recent, that's why I didn't remember him. And then there's, what's the, Makoto from Free.
Mm-hmm.
And,
You did mock.
yeah.
You didn't know that? Yeah,
Yeah.
I was there.
I've
like,
straightened my hair
didn't we
for
do
it.
soccer con? We shared a
I
hotel
saw.
when you were
I saw
cosplaying.
Sammy
believe
as
so.
Rin, right?
No, not Rin, he does
no,
Haru.
Haru. Not
Yeah.
Rin.
Yeah, no, he does
I don't
Haru,
know
and
the
so I
gay
did
boys.
Makoto. And of course, it was actually funny because we did Akicon, and we
Yeah.
did it. And on the third day was when we did it, and I straightened my hair and everything. And then it rained.
Oh no.
And like, if
Oh.
you have curly hair and it rains, you know. And we
You're in
wanted to
trouble.
get shots of the pool. So like, you see like the first two pictures we took with straightened hair,
Yep.
and then like the rest of them, my hair is a mess
Yep.
because it's already starting to revert back to its natural Judaism.
Natural.
So it's funny just like looking at that, because like, you know, he's trying to get in the pool and I'm like grabbing him by like the back of the shirt, and it just looked so funny.
Oh my god.
But yeah, most of my cosplays have involved masks besides like those original two as well, and like some of the ones that I did like way back. Like there was one I signed up for a con I think a week before, and I didn't have time to make any cosplays for it. So what I did was I like was up the night before spray painting one of my Nerf guns,
I feel.
and I
like
just
that.
took a gray shirt, turned it inside out, wore some camo pants, and stapled a piece of paper with like one of the like Call of Duty symbols on it, and like wore like sunglasses, and that was my cosplay. I was like, I'm a soldier from Call of Duty, and like it was so bad. It did not look good at all.
You reminded me of this dark time in middle school when I tried
Oh,
to cosplay
middle school was the dark
Zim
time.
from
Oh
Invader
no.
Zim.
Good.
Oh, it was so bad. I turned a shirt inside out because I'm a short gal, so I just asked my mom if I could borrow one of her purple shirts, and I turned it inside out. The problem was there was a like, this is me and my mom. We have like cat shirts. So it's this imprint, like it's this giant cat. So when you turned it inside out, you could still see the imprint.
Yeah.
It was so bad, and I couldn't turn it around
I
either
did that.
because there was a giant tag. So
I did that with my old Sora cosplay. It was like a Batman shirt, and then I turned it inside out. I was like, yeah, you can't see that at all.
Yeah, see, my Clone Trooper cosplay, too, that I made the armor for, I spent weeks working on that, right? And, of course, again, I don't know anything about craft foam to this day. Now, I did this cosplay back in 2010, I want to say. So I still don't know about how to work with craft foam and stuff like that. So what I did was I basically just, like, made one layer. Everything was one layer. For, like, the belt, like, I don't know how much you know about, like, Star Wars and stuff like that, but, like, basically
Not a lot.
Yeah, basically they have almost like a utility belt with, like, ammo
I know
pouches
what
and
they look
stuff.
like, yeah.
And then they have, like, a grenade, like, on the back. And it's, like, a round grenade. So what I did is I bought one of those, like, multi-packs of, like, single-serve cereals. Ate the cereal. And I didn't have spray paint, either. I didn't buy spray
Did
paint.
you just have like cereal boxes?
No, I had white acrylic paint. Hand painted. You could still kind of see through the 3 layers of paint, so you could
Frosted
tell.
Flakes.
You could tell that I was walking around with a box of Smacks on my belt. And then, like, the grenade on the back was, like, a soda can that I, like, took my very, very dull pocket knife and carved into it and, like, just slid. And, of course, I didn't reinforce them, so by the end of the day, most of the cereal boxes had, like, torn off the belt. The helmet was the only fine thing, and this was... And right now, if you were to go to a store, any store, and try to buy, like, a Star Wars helmet or something... And it's going to say the word helmet. you're gonna get a mask, right? Back in early 2010s, you could buy a helmet that was a helmet.
Exactly.
So I had an actual licensed merchandise clone trooper helmet that I custom painted and everything, and it was the wrong shade of blue. To this day, it's still the wrong shade of blue. I intend to fix it eventually, and it shouldn't be too hard because again, it's just acrylic paint, and I can take it off with a knife if I want to. Yeah. I could take it off with my thumb and just lick my thumb and just. But no, the armor was terrible, and it was all stapled together. That's how it was held together. It was duct taped to the top of my shoes. The undersuit was just black spandex, 2 pieces of black spandex with some gloves. It wasn't good. It was horrendous.
Sounds amazing.
And it's also funny because I had long hair at the time too, so it's sticking out of the bottom of the helmet. And I had the officially licensed gun too that I hand painted, but it's smaller than it should be really.
Right.
So I'm sitting there super awkward, and I felt so bad because at that convention, while cosplaying him, I saw another guy with the same helmet, but he had cardboard armor that was 1,000 times better.
Right.
So it's just, I need to learn more, and I may come to you. I don't know, but as of right now, I do have a cosplay in mind, and I've mentioned this during the last podcast too. I have a cosplay in mind for Baycon. There's somebody that I have in mind that I'm going to commission. My one problem is that they have small commission slots, and I have to get back to them at the end of October. Yeah. And I have to get back to them at the end of October, and hope I have enough money to do it, and they're starting more jobs, so hopefully I'll have.
Get in, because they do quality work.
Yeah, they do. And I mean, all I need to do is one piece. So hopefully.
Like the anime.
Yeah, like the anime.
Good anime.
Why did they spend so many years looking for One Piece when you can just go to KFC and get a 5-piece for $4.99?
You just... what is Luffy doing? Why is Zoro still following him? KFC. Come on.
Exactly.
Why?
But we're talking about this, and it brings up a good point. We all started somewhere.
Yeah.
And it was not the best always.
No.
There's so many people nowadays who are just starting, and they're
professional.
No, they're I don't know why I don't look good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's it's because it's your first one.
Yeah. My first Toby cosplay, I'm not making this up, was that same black spandex that I wore underneath of the Clone Trooper outfit. So it was just a spandex top, spandex pants, black gloves, and a mask that I made using modeling clay and a hockey mask. Mm-hmm. And that was it. That was my original Toby cosplay. Yeah. It was nowhere near good at all.
Yeah.
And then eventually I was oh, what am I going to do for the robe? And I had a dark purple raincoat.
Yep.
It was one of those reversible ones where it was yellow on the outside and purple on the inside, and you could reverse it. And I took some tracing paper, traced the clouds, and taped them.
Yeah.
To the, and that was it. I didn't have a wig. I still had long brown curly hair. Now it's you can see it, and I have the actual most of the actual costume.
Yeah.
And it actually looks decent. I need to buy a new robe. I'm not gonna lie. I need to get a new robe because the one, the one that I have now is falling apart in several areas. Actually, there's I don't know how to describe it. I think there's paper inside of one of the sleeves. There's just a ball of paper or something.
Wow,
it's really weird. But
that's good.
And the mask, the second mask I got was the one that you see at conventions all the time, just that orange simple piece of plastic. Now I have an actual hand molded mask. That looks absolutely fantastic.
Upgraded.
Yeah, and so you have to start somewhere, and you have to keep going. And I think
you can't give up.
Yeah,
and the thing that people need to realize too is even professionals. I mean, would I call us professionals?
No, but you're definitely you're
it's
not.
It's still a hobby for us.
Yeah, but you're still good at what you do because you've been doing it for so long.
Professionals would be someone Yaya Han or Jessica Nigri
who get paid to do it.
Who get paid to do it is what a professional would be.
But the thing is, a lot of people look at us and expect us to get it on the first try. I mean, dude, I love looking at the before and after pictures of my Undines. That one's one's my favorite.
God. Yeah.
Do you guys remember my first pair of gauntlets?
I believe so, yeah.
What even was that?
And
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
it worked for the time, you know, and now
But
it's
what
better.
they don't know, even when I made that first pair, that was like the 6th time I made them.
Yeah.
That was not a first time thing. I went through a lot of trial and error
And
when
most
I
of
made
us
Ganondorf.
still even aren't satisfied. Like, even though I did Undyne, I'm actually still not satisfied. Like, at some point, I'd love to do her armor, but
Yeah.
only when I'm more experienced.
There's always room for improvement.
Oh, yeah,
and
definitely.
you're not going to get there on the first try.
Oh, no.
So basically, you know, just if you love the cosplay, go for it and keep going at it. You know, my first Deadpool cosplay was a $40 suit from China.
It was so good.
And like that's what it was. It was like a $40 suit from China and like a belt and harness that I bought for like $10 on Amazon and boots. And that was it. And like I bought some Nerf swords and like strapped them to my back with some elastic. And now I have this, again, it's not something that I made, but I have it's expensive but beautiful suit by Snake Pit Studios. I have fantastic armor that was custom made for me. Well, not custom, well, you know, Etsy. But it just
Custom as it gets.
yeah, it's custom as it gets through Etsy at least. And that's just the thing, is it looks fantastic. I've had so much support behind it. You know, my cosplay, it evolved over the years, and I think that's what you need to do. Is if it's a cosplay that you love too, especially if it's something that you're known for. You know, a lot of people at this past BayCon, there was one other guy cosplaying as Deadpool.
Yeah.
People thought it was me.
Yeah.
And it was
you're
not me.
known. You're known
Yeah,
for Deadpool.
Exactly. I've been doing Deadpool since 2011.
Yep.
Or if you have those cosplays, like, I kid you not, whenever there's a Midna somewhere in Bellingham, they assume it's me, and I'm just like, I haven't brought out Midna in years.
Has there actually been more?
I've never seen another Midnight
Really?
cosplayer.
There was, I can't remember what con it was, but there was a con at some point. A girl was cosplaying Midna, and it was probably around, like, it was probably the level I was when I started Midna, and people assumed it was me, and I was like, no, that's not me.
Absolutely, yeah.
I guess the one I'm known for now is Ganondorf.
Yeah.
But
You were Kaito before.
yeah, before
Like,
it
you
was
were straight up
Kaito, and then Hades. People actually thought I had blue hair.
Yeah, no.
Like, they
I
thought
think
that was just me.
And you know, your Hades cosplay, like, if it wasn't for the painting, I would love to see it again. I thought you did absolutely wonderfully with it.
I love you.
The first time I actually saw it in person was at SoccerCon, and I had no idea what was going on. I was like baffled.
Yeah.
I was wordless.
Yeah, I like
Really?
walked by you and I was like, "Oh, Cam. Oh, okay. Well, they're leaving, so I have to go. But hey,
Yeah, and I think that definitely it's
I want to bring Hades back.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do the arm socks.
Yeah.
And I want to actually
and I think the
try
arm socks
wig.
will be okay. Like, because when I did my Terezi cosplay, like this is like way back. Like I was like super into Homestuck. It's the only Homestuck cosplay I've ever actually done though. And the paint that I got is a different shade than my arm socks. But
That's the problem.
I bought two different pairs of tights, and I think we used the darker shade, and that's why. So I mean, definitely like take a look at like your makeup and like try and figure out exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, mind you, the thing about tights too is it's really hard to find gray tights in person. You can find them online. Yeah, so of course finding out, you know, the
But then
exact
it's hard
shade.
to match the color.
Exactly. If you have to potentially match the
paint.
Yeah, match the paint
Yeah.
to the tights instead if you have to. Because honestly, they're not hard to make.
No, they're not. 'Cause I just don't want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they are a process.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Fingers.
Yeah.
What are fingers?
Well, as long as you have a sewing machine.
I don't have one here. So.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if you have access to a sewing machine, it's a lot easier.
that's
Yeah.
gonna be me.
Yeah. Beyond that, though, I think really, like, if you want to cosplay, do it. That's and you know, strive for excellence.
You just have to stick with it.
Because I think that really cosplay, it's such a big passion for a lot of us, and I know here in Bellingham, like, you don't hear about it, nobody talks about it really, but like when something like BayCon comes around and like all these people show up, I was so shocked.
Yeah.
But I think it's absolutely fantastic how many people are actually interested in it.
Yeah, we actually have a huge community in Bellingham.
Yeah.
And you just don't know it. Like, unless you like this last BayCon, I met so many people, and then I was on Facebook, and I was like, holy crap, you live in Bellingham.
Yeah.
I would have never known about that.
So if it's a passion for you, do it. Or if it started off just as like a tiny hobby, like something for me to do for a weekend. That's what it started off for me as. And now if I can't go to a convention or like cosplay for a reason, I start getting like withdrawal symptoms.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure if I'm going to be going to OkiCon this year, and I'm like, even if I don't, like, what am I going to do around October following years?
Luckily,
It's
I
like,
have Komori-con.
yeah, see,
Well, luckily, yeah, that was like with when I found out I couldn't go to Geek Girl Con because of finances. I was actually very broken about it, and I usually went with this friend of mine, but now that's not even a thing anymore. But I was really broken up about it because I don't go to cons alone. That's like number one rule of cons. You never go alone.
I don't
That's a
like
good
going.
rule to have.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like going by myself in general, just because I don't have as much fun.
Yeah, but I was really happy when my friend came up and they were like, hey, we're having a Punk Mario group. Can you be our Peach? And I was like, I will do this if you will drive me there. If you will, have the housing, I will buy the ticket, please.
Yeah.
Because I want to go. So,
Like, I'm having withdrawals now because I'm on a break because I have to be.
Yeah.
I don't choose to be. But then my friend Emily came over and she showed me parts of her Fallout cosplay she had made, and I was like, I need to make stuff.
Yeah.
I missed it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do this and this and this. And it's like, I don't have anything here.
Yeah.
honey, after Christmas, you can help me because that's when Midna will be funded. So.
Yes. But it's like, especially for us, it's been a thing for years. And it's something it's how we met each other.
Yeah,
even.
yeah. Like I knew both of these wonderful ladies through school, but I didn't know them really well.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of ran into each other a few times through like anime night and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And then eventually it just became like an actual thing. Like we were constantly hanging out. Eventually we were like driving 7 hours to go to a convention
Through a desert with a dust NATO.
Yeah, just to.
NATO.
We drove through this whole thing, just hanging out in the car together, and like just from like me sneaking into school to help out my friend with his Japanese homework, to like and just kind of like being like, oh hey, what's up you two? And like now, like the relationship that we have now, it's definitely cosplay is a thing that's brought us together. It can make you some fantastic friends. I know that for dang sure. Nikki met a fantastic friend as well through cosplay.
Woohoo.
The one in Spokane.
In Spokane, Rowan, yeah.
Yeah, that
oh
one.
Oh my gosh, yeah, she's a sweetheart. That was just kind of a chance thing. Her friend had messaged me on Instagram like, hey, I love your Undyne. Can I get your Facebook? And I'm like, at first I was like, creeper alert.
Right?
Like, no.
Yeah.
But I gave them my cosplay page and they were just like, okay, this works. And then they asked me, hey, can you be Undyne in our Undertale panel? And I was like, that was big for me. I was like, I've never been asked to be in a panel before. Like, oh my god. But it was more of the fact that I was the closest Undyne.
Yeah, but even still, you made like an amazing friend, and you have, and I think that's really like one thing that's great about cosplay is that you live like that double life.
Yeah.
Like you can be like that nerd that everybody wants to give swirlies to, but when you're at a convention, you're the nerd that everyone wants to get swirlies to, except you're wearing a wig now. So, and somebody might stop them in this case.
Yeah.
But honestly, cosplay has improved, like, my experience, and I've met so many fantastic people through it.
If you're also, like, the one thing that I always regretted, if you are hanging out with someone that you just met or something and you're too afraid to bring it up at all, believe it or not, me and Cam hadn't actually become best friends until high school.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew each other basically from birth.
Yeah.
Because me and her sister were best friends, and we lived just across the street, basically.
Yeah.
But I never knew she was into anime. It was kind of like a secret thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we never knew. I was into it because of my cousin. She was into it on her own.
Yep.
And finally, in high school, we were just like, hey, we go to cons together. I just realized that.
Yeah.
Like, be open about your passion.
It's not something to be ashamed. It may seem shameful to you, but if don't be, like, for example, for me, literally only, like, one person, maybe, at my place of business, at the place that I work, knows the kind of, like, there's one who knows that I like anime. I don't know if any of them know that I'm into, like, cosplay and stuff like that. There was only one person I confessed it to, and he got a different job, like, a week later.
It was because of you.
Yeah, it was literally because I came to work half an hour after being in Spider-Man cosplay. So,
Who was that?
That was our first flyering event for last year's BayCon. I literally told him I had to wake up and squeeze my butt into spandex so early this morning, and he was like, mind you,
I remember when you posted
yeah,
it.
he's a drag queen, so he was like, what?
It's like the same thing.
Yeah, I know. So no, but we talked about it, and he was super chill with it and everything. But
and also just like bringing it up to, in any sort of sense, if you're thinking about selling them, like I do have commissions if I can think I can do them.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom, she raves about me so much at her work, and ever since she has, I've had 3 people at her work message me asking if I can make them something. Granted, half the time, like one of them, she sent me the photo of World of Warcraft. Like, it was like full body armor. I was like,
Did I tell you guys about
can't do that.
the power suit armor thing on Instagram?
no.
Oh my god. So this is when I started making Ganondorf the first time. I'll also tell you, I've turned down every single commission I've ever gotten.
Oh wow.
Because I just don't feel confident enough in my skills. But there was this one person who messaged me when I was first making Ganondorf, okay? And they were like, I want to talk to you about a commission. And I was like, okay, I can't guarantee I'll take it. And then they're like, okay, I want you to make me the Fallout 4 power suit armor. And I was like, okay. And then they're like, but I want you to buy the materials, and I want you to pay for the shipping, and I'll give you like $30. And I was like, bye.
Yeah, no, that is a several $100 project.
That's like thousands.
Yeah.
that's the
IMO.
one thing that's also really sad about people who just don't understand.
Or like when they know you and they're like, oh, but we're friends.
Exactly. Like, I had this person who was very sweet about it. They were asking me, this is my first cosplay. I want to make sure it's great. Mm-hmm. And it was sewing. I was very confident I could do this.
Yeah.
So I went to Joann's. I rallied up all, like, how much I think it would be. And when the price actually, like, came down to it, they were just like, no, I can't do it. That's too much. And I'm just like, what did you expect?
Yeah, what did you expect?
This is a handmade item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been doing commission, or like buying commissions for quite a while. And usually it's been art, right?
Yes.
And that's something, if you're interested in doing a commission, you need to make sure that you understand the rules. You need to find out, like, the person's prices and know that those are almost always set in stone.
And also ask about payment plans.
Yeah, for sure. If you can't afford it right away, say, can I, for example, the person that I'm planning on commissioning, I showed them what it was, and I explained to them kind of like how, it was made. And they said, okay, it's probably, time, materials, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be about this much. And I said, that's a little high, but I might come back to you, right? Mm-hmm. And mind you, you don't want to say, oh, that's too much for me. You can say, I don't think I can afford that right now, but thank you. Definitely. Don't ever...
Have some manners.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But basically what I did was, a couple days later, I thought about it, or maybe it was just a day later, and I came back and I said, how open are you for payment plans? And they told me straight up, that's actually what I do as a default. I charge you for, like, general materials.
Yeah.
And then this, and so if something is expensive, try and see if you can, work with them, because they want to make this for you.
They really do. Like,
I
feel bad turning someone down every time.
Yeah. So just make sure that you can do it, that you can find a way to afford it, whatever you can do, just make sure. Also know that they're not going to give you something if you don't pay first. Like, if you're like, oh, $300, okay, and I can pay you $10 a week, let's say, okay, so that's going to be 30 weeks, and they get it done in 10 weeks. You still have to pay off those extra 20 weeks.
You won't get it just because they're done.
It's like any transaction. If you go to a store and you don't have the money, you can't get your stuff. You cannot buy your stuff. You swipe your credit card and it declines it. Sorry, but you have to walk out without your groceries.
Exactly.
So make sure that you can afford the stuff. But do what you have to, do what you want to.
Yep.
And it's never just the materials too, please understand. It's the labor. That's
Yeah.
the one thing they never put into account. It's always the labor that comes into play as well.
We have to take time
There's
and the skills and stuff out of our days.
Yeah, you're not
and
just
stuff.
paying for, you know, for the material and for the time. You're also paying for, like, everything that brought them to that point. There's one person I commissioned art from a few years ago, and his art, it was a full-body character with color. It was $80. And mind you, like, I've had, like, commissions that turned out slightly better in quality for a lot cheaper. But here's the thing. He went to college for art, right? He did all this stuff. So I'm not just paying for that. I'm paying for the time. I'm paying for, you know, his Diet Cokes, because that's all he drinks. I'm also paying for his schooling, for all the effort that he's put into to get to that point. So that's what it is every single time.
Yep.
That's what it is. You're paying for everything that's got them to that point where they're able to commission, or, you know, to take the commission.
Exactly.
So we are winding down to our last little bit here. So, anything else that you guys wanted to say?
You guys should go to BayCon next year.
Definitely.
It's gonna be such a good year. I'm so excited for next year.
Definitely.
I'm flipping excited to be security Markiplier.
Yeah. So we are definitely, there's a few things that we are planning. You know, obviously we can't talk about it, but it's going to be super cool. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure that you get your tickets. Early bird registration is over, but you can still pre-reg.
You can still pre-reg.
How much is the pre-reg? Do you remember?
Is it 10 or 15?
It's about $10 or $15.
Yeah.
Okay. So go to BellinghamAnimeCon.com and get your pre-registration on. If you want to be a volunteer. If you want to be a volunteer, there's also a submission form for that, I believe.
Yeah.
Volunteers do get in free, but they do also have a few things that they need to do.
Yeah. We're going to be holding a lot of seminars.
Right. So,
volunteers.
So there's going to be seminars, there's going to be training, basically making sure that you can complete your duties and everything that you're assigned. If you want to be part of Artist Alley is currently open, right?
Not just yet.
Okay.
Sharon has not talked to me about that, but when it is open, I'm your gal.
Yep, so...
And we will be looking over portfolios this time, so...
Yes, so Artist Alley, right now not open, but when it will be, we'll be putting up notifications on the Twitter, Instagram... Yeah, so panels as well. We'll be putting up a notification on Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr, so make sure you follow those in the links below. So as Nikki was just saying, we are going to be going over portfolios for artists this year. So if you have an art portfolio, make sure you send it to us when it's open. If you don't have one, you still have time to make one. So make sure.
Or I think we planned on also just sending us some of your art. PDF files kind of thing.
Yep. So basically if you have the files, make sure that you send them in with your submission. So obviously we'll be getting around to that in a couple of weeks, I assume, at least, possibly by the end of the month, but I can't say for certain. We're also going to be opening up a few more accounts and stuff like that and trying to get a little bit more activity. So make sure you keep your eyes on the Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram, Bellingham Anime. And make sure you keep an eye on the YouTube channel as well. Here, we're going to be hopefully posting a little bit more details and stuff like that, some more videos, and we're also going to be doing these podcasts every month. So, thank you all so much for listening, and thank you guys for doing this. Next month, we will also have a special guest, so stay tuned for that. This has been Jeremy and...
Artist Avenue.
Comedian Cosplayer.
And thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.